Thank you for joining me this afternoon. My name is Kimberly Gray, and I am the Federal Program Manager for the Wasteform Development and Off-Gas Capture areas within the Material Recovery and Wasteform Development Campaign. Today, we are looking at the areas of FC-1.5. My colleague, Christina Leggett, she briefly discussed the overall task for the Material Recovery and Wasteform Development Campaign for the other areas, so I'll just stick with the FC 1.5 area. Okay, I'm trying to advance my slide.
Kim, you'll probably need to click back onto your PowerPoint and then you should be able to advance them.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, ooh, no. Okay, gotcha. As we know that some advanced reactors and fuel cycles generate salt waste streams rich in alkali halides and or alkaline earth halides. These streams contain fission products and some actinides for potential recycle, and the waste must be treated to immobilize the radioactive components. For chloride-based streams, methods for recycling the chlorine-37 are also of interest. Chlorine-37 and rich salts are attractive because neutron activation of natural chlorine-35 results in production of chlorine-36, which is a long-lived radioisotope contributing to the repository dose. The scopes for the proposals today are in the following areas. New approaches for treating and partitioning chloride-based and fluoride-based salt streams for recycle of waste constituents and methods for immobilizing the residual waste in chemically durable waste forms. Wasteform options for mobilizing fluoride-based and or chloride-based salt streams in chemically durable forms. The proposed effort should include the production of multiple 20-gram monolithic wasteform test samples that will be provided to the DOE national laboratories for testing, beginning no later than 12 months into the effort and continuing to the conclusion of the proposed effort. Samples of the proposed waste forms will be evaluated using the facilities and methods developed within the DOE National Laboratory Complex. As we all know, salt wastes are not compatible with wasteform materials developed for oxide-based waste streams, such as borosilicate glass and ceramics. Innovative methods to recover valuable resource materials from salt waste prior to disposal or to purify the base salt for recycle are needed. The performance of new materials as waste forms will be assessed independently by testing at national laboratories to enable direct comparison with baseline and alternative materials. As stated earlier, I'm the federal POC for this project. My colleague, Mr. Bill Ebert, is the technical POC for this project, and we both are available for your questions. Feel free to reach out to us at any time. And it's best to shoot us an email with your questions. But right now, we will open it up for questions today. And I want to thank you guys for listening.
Thanks, Kimberly. We will take questions through the question and answer box on the GoToWebinar application for the next few minutes. Please enter any questions that you have now. We have our first question.
Okay.
Are satellite-based waste forms of interest?
Sodalite, yes.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, I mispronounced that. Is there a preference for chloride or fluoride?
Either or. Either or. The proposals are specifically say either or. We're looking at chlorides now, but we will take. We're also looking at fluorides, but we are looking at a lot of chlorides. But either or for this call.
Are waste forms for electrochemical processing waste primarily of interest? So let me start that over. Are waste forms for electrochemical processing waste primarily of interest, or are projected molten salt waste streams more of interest?
Bill Ebert, you want to take that question?
Let's move on to the next question, and
Okay.
maybe we can loop back with Bill. Which actinides are you interested in recycling, and which should be encapsulated in the waste?
I was waiting for Bill to chime in.
I don't think we're getting audio from Bill, so we may need to move on and answer these by email, and we'll post these up as a, anything that's not answered here will be posted up in a webinar transcript.
Okay, perfect.
Let's move on to the next one then. Are waste form samples required for proposals that focus primarily on chloride recovery?
Chloride or fluoride, yes. And as the proposal stated, we're looking for samples to be sent to the national laboratories for testing.
Does the testing at the DOE sites need to be included in the budget and the 20% funding limit?
Ooh, that's the question for the laboratories. I think so, but we can post that question on the website, but I think so. I think it is included.
Which national laboratories will do sample testing?
PNNL, and I think Argonne National Laboratory.
Are CINR waste forms of interest? I don't know that I pronounced that correctly. Okay.
Yes.
Those are the questions that we have. I'm still not seeing Bill Ebert as being available to answer any questions. So seems like there may be some audio there. So we will loop back with him, get some answers.
And the questions that were not answered, we will definitely answer those and have them on the website for all to see.
Yep, that's correct. So we will get those processed and get those out on the website. Thank you, Kim, for the presentation and answering the questions. This does conclude the FY 2021 CINR webinar. Thank you all that hung in there during our technical difficulties over the last hour or so. We appreciate your patience. As a reminder, the handouts that are available on GoToWebinar, the draft CINR Workscopes and the webinar schedule are here to download for the next few minutes before I shut down the webinar. So please do so now if you need a copy of those Workscopes. We are currently working to find an alternate path to be able to post these webinar presentations, Workscopes, and the transcript of the webinar question and answer to an alternate website. So if you have attended the webinar, or if you're on our CINR contact list, you will receive more information over the next few days about where this information will be posted. So with that,
Drew,
yes,
I
go
have a
ahead.
quick question for you that might be of interest to some people. Last year, when we had this webinar, we had, I guess some folks were asking questions, and I think they were asking questions about work that had been done in the various areas in the past. So in order to make it fair, we wanted to, last year I think we posted some documents on the website for all the interested parties to see. Would something like that be available this time, just to make it fair for everyone who would be interested?
Yeah, so I
Or how does
think
that work?
we could host some links or some other information to those resources. So
Okay.
once we figure out our hosting situation on where we're going to host those documents, we can have a follow-on discussion, Kimberly, about that. And
Okay.
like I said, to everybody else who's attending, we will provide some more information in the coming days on where to access the webinar information. Thank you all for attending. I wish you all the best in this current FY 2021 cycle. And with that, we will conclude the webinar.